على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وأصحابه الغر الميامين وعلى كل من اهتدى بهديه واستنى بسنته وقتفى أثره إلى يوم الدين ثم أما بعد فأوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله عز وجل فقد فاز المتقون. قال عز من قائل يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. ثم اعلموا يا رعاكم الله أن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار أعاذنا الله وإياكم. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, we commence by thanking the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His infinite mercy and blessings upon us, and thereafter we convey abundant peace and salutations upon our noble Master Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Our discussion this afternoon inshallah will revolve around forgiveness, tolerance versus retaliation. You all may agree with me that we are now currently living in the world where bickering, conflicts, fights are becoming predominant in our circles. We are seeing children deserting their parents for years and decades, and we are seeing parents similarly deserting their own children. The ongoing fighting and conflicts between siblings. One sibling does not talk to another. A brother and sister have not spoken for years. And this continues and it carries on and then is inherited by the cousins, and this conflict becomes endless. What is more ironic is to see the intolerance between husbands and wives, the divorces that are occurring on a daily basis, on alarming statistics, as you all know. There's no time to go into the statistics now. But the fact remains that one of the most concerning problems that we have in our global world is the rate in divorce. And these divorce, some of them are legitimate, but some of them are only based on ego, selfishness, and lack of tolerance. We're seeing children, as a result of divorce, ending up in streets, coming from broken homes. Just in the week, we received a very devastating message from one of the local shuyukh, where a certain family was looking for fostering parents to look after the children. May Allah reward those brothers and sisters that came out and welcomed these vulnerable children into their care, or else these children would have ended up in the hands of non-Muslims. There's no problem living with non-Muslims. The problem occurs when the values of our Muslim children are going to be compromised. How how many children today are resorting to drugs, alcoholism, because of not being looked after Muslim fostering parents. It's a concerning problem that we all need to think about. It could happen to me or to you. We can only ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to safeguard us all. I kept on thinking when I received this message yesterday, what am I going to discuss about? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired something to me. Looking at the whole problems that we have holistically, the trigger of the problems that we are faced with, the statistics, the alarming statistics of divorce, the problems that we are encountering between community members from an organizational level, from a community level, and from a family level. The trigger to all these problems is one thing, and that is lack of tolerance. As human beings, we have to understand that it is inevitable for us humans to live without conflicts. As long as we are surrounded by a next person, that person could be your friend at work, your colleague, your co-worker. That person could be your own sibling, your own dad or mom, your brother or your sister, a brother and sister that you meet at the masjid. As long as you are interacting with others, conflicts will become inevitable. What is important for us as humans, particularly as Muslims, is to look at the Islamic philosophy. What Islam teaches us. When problems occur between two people, when conflicts occur between two people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not immune us from having conflicts or differences of opinions. But what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done is to put the divine guidelines and the Islamic philosophy to guide us when those problems occur. It is only inhuman for people to forget the Islamic guidelines, which will not only unite them, but will eliminate most of our social problems. Today, if you look, you've got another problem in the world that we're living in, particularly for us that are living in the West. Everyone is taught that you need to claim for your rights. Think about this statement. Claim your rights. But there's no one advocating that before you claim for your rights, you need to fulfill the right of the next person. If our mindset are set to claim for our rights, then obviously there'll be no one fulfilling the rights of another person. And this is the problem that we are faced with, and it needs to be addressed with no biasness. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say about resolving our conflicts between parents and children, between spouses, between siblings, community members, people that share your faith, and those who do not share your faith with you? If we are really true believers, we need to reflect on this question. We need to reflect in this question. Are we driven by our motives and emotions as human beings, as Muslims? Or we are driven by what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has imposed on us? And I'll come back to this question later. When we understand as Muslims that we are not a component of emotions. We are not driven by our emotions, but we are a nation that will sacrifice our desires, our egos, and our emotions in order to please the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When that happens, then we are prepared to resolve our conflicts with anyone around us. Firstly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in encouraging problem solving, reconciliation, peaceful resolutions, overlooking at problems that are done on you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not only does He encourage us to become tolerant and forgiving, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises paradise, Jannah, for the person that will forgive a next person only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, injustice is done on me. Someone has violated my rights. Someone is trampling on my rights. But the moment I think about the Jannah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I overlook and I look forward to the Jannah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَجَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضُ وَعِدَّتْ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ فِي السَّرَّاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that hasten, rush, compete against one another in dunya, in accumulation, in acquiring wealth. No. Compete one another towards the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Jannah, the paradise of Allah. عرضها السماوات والأرض. Its width is as big as the heavens and the earth. وعدت للمتقين. This magnificent and huge Jannah is prepared for those who have the God consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in them. And later Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the same verse describes who are these al-muttaqeen. الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ فِي السَّرَّاءِ. Those who are charitable during adversities. It's COVID. There is no money. Business is declining. There's no proper income. And you know the pain in the ummah. You are still becoming charitable towards them. Allah says that your reward is Jannah. الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ فِي السَّرَّاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ. Adversities and prosperity. Nothing changes you. You are still a charitable person. You don't look at your circumstances. You look at the circumstances of others. وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ. And those who suppress their anger. Injustice is done on you. You are furious and fuming and burning inside you. But you suppress your anger. You don't utter words that are despicable in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-Kadhimin al-Ghayr. You are angry, but you're suppressing that anger. You're becoming resilient. Why? Not because you are scared of the consequences that this person will knock you down. No, but you are looking forward to the forgiveness and the wide paradise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There Allah says, concludes, وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. This is the last. وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. Now you suppress your anger. What follows next? You forgive the perpetrator. You forgive the victor. You forgive the oppressor. وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. And look at this, not وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. And those who forgive every human being that causes discomfort to them. Jannah is for them. the quality of forgiveness. This is the attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, al-Ghafur rahim. But through the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, any human being that would display 1% of the quality of Allah of becoming polite, forbearance, and forgiving, Allah says, because of that, I'm prepared to enter you in paradise. My brothers, understand, and my sisters, for some people, their salah will not qualify them Jannah. And for others, their Sawm and their Zakah and Tilawatul Quran will not qualify them paradise. They'll be stranded on that day. They'll be looking right, left and center. They have nothing to qualify them to enter the paradise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And here, because you forgave someone in your life, you forgave your son, you forgave your daughter, you forgave your wife, she forgave you, the wife forgave you. Because of that forgiveness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say that, remember, on that day, you suppressed your anger, you forgave your spouse, you forgave your brother and your sister for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have nothing to take you to Jannah, but because of that, Jannah is for you. This is what it means. So when that problem occurs, don't think about your ego. Don't think about your name. Don't think about your status. Don't go and retaliate. Think that this is my opportunity to attain the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How many of us have this mindset? Someone really says something which is, despicable to you, puts you down, and you're smiling. Why are you smiling? Because you know this is my time that my Allah is prepared to forgive me. How many of us do this? Let's think about it very wisely. This is the time when people lose. They lose their minds. They lose their cool. They become emotional, defensive, argumentative, and they start using vocabs that not even their own child will ever use in their lives. Why we're hearing so many stories in our communities? We're hearing so many stories in our communities. Reporting the father of your children, a husband is reported to the cops. Intervention order is put. Brothers, this is happening on a daily basis. Somewhere in Victoria, in KZ, there's police, a Muslim. Police are going to take him or isolate him away from his family because of the complaint that is being made against that individual. And there are children involved. And they don't care, these couples don't care where the children will end up to. There's nothing wrong to do that. But when you think on a broader perspective, you need to measure the offense. For every nitty and gritty, for every petty thing you're calling cops, you're only wasting the resources. I'm not trivializing your problems. As Muslims, we have solution. And I need to back up myself here. I know there are some people that misinterpret, right? You're going to report me to the cops, or this person is saying that we are reporting, so we are not good citizens. I'm not saying that. You have all the right to exercise your legal rights, but the same law does not stop you from forgiving the next person. Even the Quran says, وَلَمَنِ انْتَصَرَ بَعْدَ ظُلْمِهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَا عَلَيْهِمْ مِنْ سَبِيلٍ. If you go and retaliate against someone that has done injustice to you, فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَا عَلَيْهِمْ مِنْ سَبِيلٍ, There is no blame on you. إنما السبيل على الذين يظلمون الناس ويبغون في الأرض بغير الحق أولئك لهم عذاب أليم. Allah says the blame is on those people that do injustice towards others, but then Allah concludes, وَلَمَنْ صَبَرْ وَغَفَرْ إِنَّ ذَلِكَ لَمِنْ عَزْمِ الْأُمُورِ. But at the same time, while you are exercising your legal rights, understand that the Islamic right on you is that to forgive. وَلَمَنْ صَبَرْ, persevere. وَغَفَرْ, forgive. إِنَّ ذَلِكَ مِنْ عَزْمِ الْأُمُورِ. Allah says that this is the best of the matters. Best of matters, why? Because you are uniting the families. It's best of the matters because you're bringing the children closer. The children do not have to grow up in a broken home. Do not have to go to the non-Muslim fostering parents. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us how many years ago, how many centuries ago. But when these verses are recited, there is a segment of Muslims that do not want to listen to this. It's my time to go and claim for a house. 50-50. Right? Now it's time to share. I'm going to claim 50% of this house, and your superannuation, I need to... I'm not giving anyone some tips here. I know most of the people are probably more aware of these things than me. So please don't be upset. But really, it's quite concerning. It's quite concerning. Your children, you might not see the damage of this today, but you will definitely see this damage in future. You will definitely see the damage in future. If there is any room for reconciliation, do not close the door of reconciliation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, وَالصُّلْحُ خَيْرٌ. Having that reconciliation is better than claiming for your rights. It's better than claiming for 50% of that house. You're going to get that money. Where is it going to get you to if it's going to demoralize your children? وَالصُّلْحُ خَيْرٌ وَأُحْضِرَتِ الْأَنفُسُ الشُّحَّ. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, إِن يُرِيدَ إِصْلَاحًا يُوَفِّقِ اللَّهُ بَيْنَهُمَا. If the couples, husband and wife, come to mutual agreement to resolve the issues and reconcile, يُوَفِّقِ اللَّهُ بَيْنَهُمَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant them the ability to do so. But when these problems are occurring, we forget that there are masajid. We forget that we have Islamic organizations that are doing arbitration, family arbitration. We don't want to go there. We want to go elsewhere. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us all. Inshallah, very quickly. Very quickly. For us, for those who feel that I have all the legit, I have the legitimate to go and put this person in problem. As I said, there's nothing wrong for you to do so. But think, and think. Is it not better to give the person a last chance? Is it not better to give the person an excuse? Why can't we give others excuse? Give a person 1,000 excuses before you can judge on them. You know this hadith in Sahih Muslim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the hadith mentions about one of the followers of the previous nations, Banu Israel. This man tells his children that when, after my demise, cremate my body and burn me to ashes. And the children complied, his wasiyah. They cremated him and burned his body. And all of a sudden, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala al-Qadir, the one who has powers and is capable over everything, he commands the earth that akhriji bring forth the components of this person. And all of a sudden this person was standing before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hadith in Muslim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses this human being and He tells him, Ma hamalaka ala hada. Ma hamalaka ala hada. O my servant, what made you do what you have just done? What made you tell your children to cremate your body? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving him an excuse. He knows the reason. He does not need any explanation. Jalla fi ulah. And he says, Khashiyatuka ya Rabb. Because of my fear, I had so many sins I did not know how to face my Allah. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, because of that excuse, I have forgiven you. Before you can ring 000, before you can go and report the incident, ask your partner, ask your wife, ask your husband, Ma hamalaka ala hada, what happened, can we discuss? Hatib bin Balta'ah, you all know his incident. This was a man that almost committed treason against the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Alayhi salam, before Fath Makkah, he told the Sahaba that I am planning to go and capture Makkah. Hatib bin Balta'ah, he hears this. He's a Muslim Sahabi, but he's present in Badr. He writes a letter, divulges the secret of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and writes a letter to the mushrikeen to Makkah and gives it to one of the ladies. You know the incident. Jibreel alayhi salam comes down to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and says, there's danger. Alayhi salam sends Ali and the Zubayr radiallahu anhuma to track down this lady. The letter was taken and it was signed from Hatib bin Balta'ah. What the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did. Ma hamalaka ala hada. Balta'ah, you are one of us. We have lived together. What made you do this? You lived many years and decades together as husband and wife, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years. You want to put a person in jail over a minor issue that can be discussed over coffee or tea, or green tea, we should say, in our community. We need to think about it. Yusuf alayhi salam forgave his brother. When he was capable of seizing them, he had the power. لا تثريب عليكم اليوم يغفر الله لكم وهو أرحم الراحمين. No revenge on you whatsoever, even though the control of Egypt is in my power. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Fath Makkah, enters Makkah, and he sees the same people that banished him out of Makkah. What he says? What he says? لا تثريب عليكم اليوم اذهبوا فأنتم الطلقاء. You are all forgiven. We need to revive these sentiments and these values of Islam. If we do so, we're going to eliminate most of our problems. I ask the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us all, insha'Allah, and to grant love and harmony between our families, between the parents and children, between spouses. أقول ما تسمعون واستغفر الله لي ولكم وللتائبين الذنب كمن لا ذنب له ادعوا الله استجب لكم واستغفروه يغفر لكم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمدا عبده ورسوله. أشهد أنه بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وكشف الله به الغمة وتركنا على محجة بيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك. صلوات ربي وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وخص بهم أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وعن الصحابة الصحبيات وعنا معهم بكرمك وجودك ورحم الراحمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك والمشركين ودمر أعداءك أعداءنا أعداء الدين. اللهم ربنا خذ بنواصينا إلى البر والتقوى يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم ربنا ألف بين قلوبنا واصلح ذات بيننا واهدنا سبل السلام وجنبنا الفواحش ما ظهر منها وما بطن. عباد الله رحمني رحمكم الله، إن الله يأمركم بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهاكم عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. واذكروا الله العلي العظيم يذكركم وادعوه ويستجب لكم واستغفروه يغفر لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون قوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Brothers, inshallah, just a quick announcement while we are straightening in our lines. There will be some flyers outside. These flyers are very, very important, inshallah, for those of you that want your children to become, hafadha or hufaz for that matter. So, inshallah, we're starting a full-time His program next year, and we'll give guidelines as well in terms of homeschooling and all those things. So, all the details are on the flyer. Please pass on the message, and if you are able to benefit, please do so. Jazakumullah khair. استووا اعتدلوا استووا رحمكم الله. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. إن ربك لبالمرصاد فأما الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فيقول ربي أكرمن وأما إذا ما ابتلاه فقدر عليه رزقه فيقول ربي أهانن كلا بل لا تكرمون اليتيم ولا تحاضون على طعام المسكين وتأكلون التراث أكلا لما وتحبون المال حبا جما. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. كلا إذا دكت الأرض دكا دكا صفا صفا وجيء يومئذ بجهنم يومئذ يتذكر الإنسان وأنى له الذكرى يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي فيومئذ لا يعذب عذابه أحد ولا يوثق وثاقه أحد يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله. And brothers, we actually conveyed your concern regarding the chili in the biryani, so this week is very mild. So please buy triple and maybe double of that.